Did you know Friedrich Nietzsche would probably think you're weak, harsh, right? But Nietzsche believed most of us live like sheep, quietly following others, terrified of standing out and desperate for approval. He called this mindset slave morality, and if you're honest with yourself, you might recognize it in your own life. Nietzsche warned that living this way isn't just weak, it's dangerous. It quietly robs you of your freedom, your authenticity, and your true potential. In this video, I'll reveal exactly why Nietzsche would despise the way most people live today and how confronting his brutal truth could help you discover real strength and independence. And so here's the uncomfortable question Nietzsche would ask you directly. Are you truly strong or just another slave to society? Imagine waking up in the morning, preparing yourself for another ordinary day. You brush your teeth, check your phone, get dressed, and head off to work or school. You follow the same route, greet the same people, and do exactly what's expected of you. Maybe you don't even question it. After all, everyone else around you is doing the same thing. It feels safe, predictable, comfortable. But is it truly living? Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most provocative philosophers in history, would probably look at this ordinary, predictable routine and call it something shocking. He'd call it slavery. Now, he wasn't talking about physical slavery. Instead, Nietzsche saw slavery as a state of mind, something he called slave morality. To him, slave morality meant blindly following rules, never questioning why things are done a certain way, and living in constant fear of criticism or rejection. It meant allowing society to decide your values rather than deciding them for yourself. Nietzsche once wrote, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often, and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." These powerful words make clear exactly what Nietzsche feared, that most people would rather avoid loneliness or criticism than risk truly being themselves. He believed that when we let others dictate who we should be or how we should act, we lose something incredibly important, our independence. But how exactly do we fall into slave morality? Think about your own life. How many decisions have you made because it's what your family expected, your friends wanted, or society approved of? Maybe you've picked a career because it sounded impressive, even though your heart wasn't in it. Perhaps you keep quiet about your beliefs because you're afraid of judgment. You follow trends, chase approval, and avoid standing out, even when deep down you disagree or feel uncomfortable. Nietzsche warned us that this kind of thinking creates a weak and passive life. He said, morality is just a fiction used by the herd of inferior human beings to hold back the few superior men. His words sound harsh, but he wanted to wake people up. Nietzsche argued that society creates rules and expectations precisely to control individuals, keeping them fearful and obedient. These rules might seem harmless or even helpful, but they're often designed to stop people from challenging the status quo or breaking out of the ordinary. To Nietzsche, following rules without question doesn't make you morally good. It makes you morally weak. True strength, he believed, requires the courage to question, to challenge, and to stand alone when necessary. Nietzsche asked us to think deeply about who we really are outside the expectations of society. He famously stated, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." In other words, if you truly understand your own purpose, your own values, and your own dreams, you can endure criticism, rejection, or even loneliness. The challenge is discovering that why for yourself, rather than letting others define it for you. Nietzsche saw clearly that comfort is seductive. Following the crowd is easy, risk-free, and reassuring, but the cost is immense. It costs you your freedom, your authenticity, and your chance to live a life that truly matters to you. So next time you find yourself following along quietly, doing what everyone else does, avoiding disagreement, holding back your opinion, ask yourself honestly, am I making my own choices, or am I quietly accepting what others have chosen for me? Nietzsche believed the greatest tragedy was a life spent in quiet obedience, never daring to ask if there's something more, something greater, something worth risking it all for. Because to him, a life spent trapped in slave morality wasn't just weak, it was wasted. Imagine someone who wakes up every day energized, driven by their own vision and purpose. They don't worry about how society judges their dreams or decisions. Criticism doesn't scare them, and approval doesn't drive them. Their values come from deep within themselves, crafted through thoughtful reflection, not borrowed from the crowd. They are strong, fearless, confident. This, according to Friedrich Nietzsche, is what it truly means to live a powerful life. Nietzsche called this way of living master morality. To him, master morality wasn't about controlling others or wielding power over people. It was about having complete mastery over yourself, your desires, and your destiny. It meant living boldly and authentically, no matter how uncomfortable or unpopular it might be. Nietzsche admired those rare individuals who dared to question the rules and expectations society placed on them. He celebrated those brave enough to set their own standards, even when the whole world seemed to disagree. These are the people Nietzsche believed could genuinely shape history, rather than just passively moving through life as spectators. Nietzsche himself once boldly declared, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." He understood clearly that those who choose to live freely, independently, and boldly will inevitably attract misunderstanding, criticism, and envy. Society often fears what it doesn't understand. It tries to pull down those who dare rise too high, preferring conformity and comfort over uniqueness and greatness. But Nietzsche saw this reaction not as a reason to stop, but as proof that someone was truly doing something important. To him, criticism and opposition were signs of strength, not weakness. The greatest achievements often come from those willing to stand alone, not those eager to blend quietly into the crowd. Consider some of history's greatest innovators, visionaries, and leaders. How many of them were praised immediately for their ideas? Most faced fierce criticism, rejection, and ridicule. Yet today, we celebrate their courage and individuality, recognizing them as pioneers who changed the world precisely because they refused to conform. Nietzsche famously wrote, "And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music." This powerful quote reveals how society often misunderstands or mocks visionaries simply because others can't see what they see or hear what they hear. Yet these individuals persist, driven by their internal strength, not external validation. Nietzsche admired this fearlessness. To him, it represented the purest form of strength, courage, and freedom. He believed deeply that greatness is found not by doing what others expect, but by embracing what makes you different. He urged people to reject conformity, warning that blindly following society's rules strips away our uniqueness and limits our true potential. Another powerful insight Nietzsche shared was, "Become who you are." This short but profound sentence captures the essence of master morality. It's a call to authenticity, a challenge to break free from the chains society places around us, to stop pretending or hiding, and to live honestly and boldly as our true self. Becoming who you truly are isn't easy. It means rejecting comfortable lies for uncomfortable truths. It means standing up when others sit quietly. It means daring to believe in yourself even when nobody else does. Nietzsche understood clearly that society values comfort and conformity far more than truth or authenticity. It rewards obedience and punishes individuality. Yet he argued fiercely that a life spent merely following orders and seeking approval isn't truly living, it's only existing. He demanded we step out of this shadow and claim our true identities, no matter how difficult or lonely it might feel. In Nietzsche's eyes, those who choose master morality are never victims of circumstance. They refuse to blame society, fate, or others for their situation. Instead, they take full responsibility for their lives, their actions, and their decisions. This mindset empowers them enormously because it puts their destiny fully in their own hand. Nietzsche believed strongly that this independence and self-reliance was the ultimate expression of strength. So ask yourself now, are you willing to live according to your own values, even if society disagrees? Can you handle criticism, misunderstanding, or rejection in pursuit of your deepest conviction. Nietzsche knew this path was challenging. He knew it required courage, sacrifice, and strength. But he also knew that living life any other way meant sacrificing your most precious gift, your true self. Nietzsche's challenge to us remains powerful and clear. Do we have the strength to live as masters of our own lives, or will we remain slaves to society's expectations forever? Take a moment right now and ask yourself honestly, are you living your life on your own terms, or are you simply drifting along, following the crowd and playing it safe? When you look in the mirror, do you see someone making brave, independent choices, or someone who quietly settles for what others expect? Nietzsche didn't just talk about these ideas to provoke controversy or discomfort. He wanted us to deeply reflect on who we really are. He understood that most people would never even dare to ask themselves these difficult questions. They'd rather remain comfortable and unchallenged, hiding safely behind excuses, societal expectations, and fear. But Nietzsche knew clearly that living according to society's rules meant sacrificing your independence. And independence, he argued, was the most precious thing anyone could possess. He famously said, "No price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." Owning yourself, what does that mean exactly? It means having the courage to define your own values, dreams, and goals. It means standing up for yourself, even if others disagree or ridicule you. It means being willing to walk away from what feels safe, easy, and predictable, choosing instead to pursue the path that genuinely inspires you. Nietzsche believed strongly that the majority of people choose comfort and conformity simply because it's easier. Facing rejection, criticism, or misunderstanding is hard and frightening, but he warned us that this comfortable life comes at an incredibly high price, the price of your freedom and authenticity. Consider your own life. Are you making decisions based on passion and purpose, or fear and approval? Do you constantly worry about disappointing others, or do you boldly pursue what truly matters to you? Nietzsche argued that the only life worth living is one that expresses your true self, openly, honestly, and fearlessly. In his own words, "You have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist." Nietzsche reminds us powerfully here that your life belongs to you alone, not to anyone else. You have the right, even the duty, to choose how you live. There is no universal blueprint for happiness or success. No matter what others tell you, no matter how loudly society tries to convince you otherwise, your life must ultimately be guided by your own unique vision. Nietzsche also warned against the illusion that fitting in, being popular, or gaining approval would ever bring genuine fulfillment. He knew clearly that chasing external validation always leaves you feeling empty, anxious, and restless. He put it bluntly, the surest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct him to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently. This powerful statement reveals something incredibly important. Society teaches us from a young age that being accepted, liked, and approved of is the ultimate goal. But Nietzsche fiercely disagreed. He argued passionately that the greatest individuals are those who think differently, those brave enough to challenge conventions and norms, even if they stand completely alone. Imagine yourself at the end of your life, looking back on the decisions you've made. Will you feel proud of the times you played it safe, following everyone else? Or will you cherish the moments you chose, courage over comfort, truth over popularity, and authenticity over approval? Nietzsche knew exactly how he wanted to feel when looking back at his life. He wanted to know he had lived boldly, honestly, and without regret. He wrote these unforgettable words, "I want to learn more and more to see as beautiful what is necessary in things. Then I shall be one of those who make things beautiful." Nietzsche reminds us here that a beautiful, meaningful life isn't one that avoids challenges or conflict. Rather, it's a life that embraces the difficult choices and the courage to stand apart. It's a life spent transforming obstacles into opportunities, criticism into strength, and fear into freedom. But Nietzsche also knew this powerful way of living isn't easy. It demands sacrifice, self-awareness, and strength. Not everyone is ready for it, and Nietzsche never pretended otherwise, but he believed passionately that each of us, deep within ourselves, holds the potential for greatness and independence. We only need the courage to recognize it, embrace it, and live it fully. Now the choice rests entirely with you. Are you willing to break free from the safety of conformity, stand boldly for your own beliefs, and live a life defined by true strength? Or will you remain quietly obedient, never fully expressing who you truly are? Nietzsche's powerful challenge is clear. Become who you are. In the end, only you can answer the question he left us with. Are you living as the master of your own life, or simply as a slave to the expectations of others? Here's the hard truth Nietzsche wanted you to hear. Living your life simply to please others isn't living at all. It's just existing. True strength, real freedom, means having the courage to step away from society's expectations and boldly create your own path. Nietzsche famously challenged us, become who you are. These 4 simple words carry incredible power. They remind us that the greatest tragedy isn't failing or facing rejection. It's living someone else's idea of your life rather than your own. So ask yourself right now, are you truly living according to your own beliefs, dreams, and passion? Or are you quietly allowing society to choose for you? Because according to Nietzsche, the only thing worse than being misunderstood or standing alone is losing yourself completely to the expectations of others. So, what will you choose, comfort and conformity, or the difficult but rewarding journey of becoming who you truly are?